Hey guys, what's up? Proxy here. So in this new video I just wanted to go over the 5.4 changes and my thoughts about them. Also how I'm specking, glyphing, gemming, and reforging. I've been reading a lot about rogues in the new patch on forums and stuff, and a lot of rogues are expecting a much larger buff. Personally, I think we're pretty balanced. We could hit harder, but the thing is rogues scale to hit very well with gear. So when we get the grievous weapons and the gear, we'll be hitting significantly harder. So if you're expecting a noticeably larger buff, just hold out for the gear and you should notice a considerable increase in damage once you get it. Also, since backstab got buffed by 105% and ambush's damage was increased by 12%, I decided to drop out of mastery and I'm going off crit. Now I also did that because our eviscerates got nerfed by 10%. Now that's not a big deal, it's not a huge number, but I think it's big enough so that I wanted to switch. Our main damage dealer in Kata was backstabs and ambushes and not eviscerates and envenoms. And also in Kata we reforged and gemmed for crit as sub-rogues. So I thought I would try it again. And at the moment, without any gear upgrades, I'm backstabbing for between 65 and 105k. I'm ambushing for between 75 and 135k. And my eviscerate crits are between 60 and 130k. These numbers are on target dummies with sanguinary veins up. Now I got my friend who is still stacking mastery to get on the target dummy next to mine, and I seem to be hitting considerably larger than him, and my eviscerates were just under his, so I'm thinking that crit's probably going to be better. When we start gearing up, I don't know if I'll go back to mastery or what, but as for now I'm sticking with crit, and I'll let you guys know more when I know more. So yeah. So most of you have heard about the changes in 5.4, but I'm going to go ahead and go over them real quick. Burst of Speed's energy cost has been reduced from 30 energy to 15 energy, which makes it a viable choice, especially for RBGs. Cheat Death now reduces damage taken by 85%, up from 80% for 3 seconds after it procs. Cloak and Dagger was buffed again, giving it an extra 10 yards, taking it from 30 to 40 yards. Night Stalker got a significant buff. It now increases damage dealt by abilities while stealth by 50%, up from 25. Paralytic Poison now stuns the target at 4 applications instead of 5. Shadow Step's cooldown has been reduced by 4 seconds, making it usable every 20 seconds. Recuperate now restores 4% of maximum health every 3 seconds, up from 3% every 3 seconds. And with the Glyph, it will be 5% every 3 seconds. Mutilate, Dispatch, and Sinister Strike all got increased weapon damage buffs also. What I really like about this change is it feels like every spec could be viable now. And I think we're going to see a lot of each spec in Arena, like people wanting to make one-shot macros in combat, of course, but there's going to be a lot of Mutilate and Sub as always, but just seeing the extra combat in there too, like, it'd be something to look out for, I think. Because it's definitely viable. Alright, so what I'll be taking for my talents in this patch is Subterfuge. Mainly because if you get brought out of stealth by Death and Decay or something, you can still cheap shot, you can still Growth Silence, you can still sap, you can still do so many things with it, and it's just great. Even though you only got a 3-second window to do those things, I mean, you really can't pass it up. It doesn't really compare to Shadow Focus or Night Stalker, even with the buff to Night Stalker. And it's really hard when you open on somebody. You know, the enemy teammate, one of the enemy teammates has to be pretty much right on top of you to see you, to stop you from doing damage. So that's really good too. So it's a kind of an offensive and defensive ability. For the next bracket, I'll be taking Comet Readiness and Nerve Strike. I'll be switching back and forth depending on what I'm playing. For Nerve Strike, I mean, you can essentially just destroy somebody's damage for 11 seconds with this. I mean, if a shaman pops Ascendance and you hit him with a cheap shot or whatever, kidney shot, like, his damage is going to be garbage. So that's really great for peeling, and you know, if you're fighting really bursty comps, that's a really great talent. Comet Readiness is really good too, like especially if you just have a melee just training you, you can pop Comet Readiness, and once it stacks up 5 times, you'll be taking 50% less damage. Also, I have this macro real quick I'll show you guys. It casts Growl from Druid Symbiosis if you're running with a Resto Druid. And what that does is It increases your armor by 330%, increases your stamina by 20%, and reduces melee critical strikes by 6%, all for 30 seconds. Now, why I use this with this is because Comet Readiness isn't that great when you first pop it. You know, if you need instant damage reduction, it kind of sucks. You know, you have to wait for it to stack up. So with this, you know, it pops Growl. I'm instantly taking less damage. I'm gaining stam, and at the same time, if they just are training me and not paying attention to the Comet Readiness animation or my buffs, you know, I'm getting 5 stacks Comet Readiness stacked. So that's a really great macro. As for the next tier, Elusiveness is amazing. I mean, if you can feint a Deep Freeze or Chaos Bolt or whatever, it's amazing. Like, I don't think you can beat it. Also, if you're getting trained, like, some people might want to take Cheat Death just as a safety net, but I don't know. You can just Elusiveness all day as long as you're not just getting chain CC'd and killed in the chain CC. Like, Elusiveness is great. For the 60 bracket, burst speed I think is more for RBGs. You could use it in arena, and some people probably will, but in my opinion, you just can't beat a Shadow Step. I mean, if you can Shadow Step, redirect, and kidney, or just Shadow Step, kidney, like an evasion. Like if a rogue's got evasion up, it's like 100% dodge chance. So you can't really hit him from the front. So if you Shadow Step kidney, and he's screwed for 6 seconds if it's not on diminishing returns. And you'll have to trinket or just sit there and you can just pound him with damage. Cloak and Dagger's okay, but since you can't use it with Shadow Dance anymore, I don't recommend taking it. It was really hard for me to get away from this. Like, I really like Cloak and Dagger, and it was hard for me to go back to Shadow Step. But when I took that break and I came back, it was kind of like a fresh start, and Shadow Step was fun again. So, and I'm glad for that, because Shadow Step is just an amazing ability, especially since the cooldown got reduced by 4 seconds. For the 75 bracket, Prey on the Weak is really good because you can cheap shot somebody and they'll not only take 10% extra damage from you, but for everybody else on your team. That's just a really great support talent. That's probably what I'm going to be rolling with most of the time. Paralytic is good too. It got reduced. You don't have to stack it 5 times anymore. It only has to be stacked 4 for the stun. And you can also shiv root somebody. Like, it's a great talent, but I think it's better for BGs and stuff. Or, I mean, there's certain situations when it would be good for arena. Dirty Tricks, I love this talent, but I just don't think it compares to Prey on the Weak or Paralytic. I mean, having your gouge not break, that's awesome. I wish gouge just didn't break without this talent, but that's really the only reason I would take it. For Mutilate, I take this sometimes just so I can throw up full poisons or full bleeds on somebody and blind them and just let them sit in it and absorb all that damage. So it just depends, but Prey on the Weak I think is the best. Shuriken Toss is it's good, but it just costs too much energy now. So I would rather have one of the other two. And alright, so these right here are kind of complicated. Last patch, Eviscerate, as I was talking about, dealt a lot more damage. It's only 10%, so it's not a great amount, but in my opinion, it's noticeable. And like last patch, I would open on somebody. I would like cheap shot Garrote for sanguinary veins, or cheap shot Rupture, and then I would open like Dance, ambush, and then I would Eviscerate, mark for death, Eviscerate. Well, now our ambushes and backstabs are doing a lot more damage than our Eviscerates, and that's also why I'm going all crit for now. So when we dance, we're not going to want to ambush, and then waste like 3 or 4 seconds hitting Eviscerate, mark for death, Eviscerate, or even just throwing out an Eviscerate. So I think this patch, Anticipation, is going to make a comeback, because we can just spam bush into somebody until our dance is over, and then throw up 2 Eviscerates or a cheap kidney shot Eviscerate, or reapply our slice and dice, whatever. I think it's going to be really good. Now, the upside for Mark for Death is you can Mark for Death kidney somebody, and that's really great, but I don't know. I mean, if you want to do that a lot, then you can just take the Glyph that reduces the cooldown for redirect. But I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I'm going to stick with Anticipation for a while and try it out and see how I like it. I actually just did this today, and I watched a video from Mirox on Skill Cap a while back, and he was talking about it. Then I was like all about Mark for Death because our Viscerates were our biggest damage dealer, so getting 2 off in a row was just great. And you can do that here too, but just for the fact that you won't be wasting part of your Shadow Dance with Anticipation, I think it's really going to make a difference. And Glyphs. Alright. Glyph Hemorrhagic Veins. You don't have to put up Garrote or Rupture anymore. You can just like Cheap Shot and then Hemo, and your sanguinary veins are applied, and then you can just go to town. This is a really great glyph. It's not necessary. You don't have to have it, but I think it's really good, and it'll keep your sanguinary veins up most of the time because, you know, if we can't get behind the target, we're always spamming hemorrhage, at least as, you know, subtlety. And then blind, you know, if you don't have dirty tricks, then blind is a necessity. Remove all damage over time so it doesn't waste your blind, it doesn't break from dots and stuff. I was using Cheap Shot, but it's only 0.5 seconds, so I don't think it's really worth it anymore. I would, like in last patch, I would Cheap Shot, and then I would just blow somebody up, and before that Cheap Shot ended, I would throw another Cheap Shot on them. And even though it was DR'd, it was like a really nice CC. But now, since this is not that great anymore, we're going to be using kidneys a lot more, and we're going to be cheap shotting into kidneys like we did in Kata. So there's a few glyphs you can go with. You can go with the Garrote if you're fighting a spellcaster like a mage or something, and you can Garrote cheap shot so they can't blink. They're silence for the duration of the Garrote, and you can kind of get some damage in on them. There's a few things you can go. Even I think evasion would be pretty good. Just 5% increased duration of evasion. And since it's got the buff for 100% dodge chance, that might be really good for certain situations. Feint is always really good. Increase if you've got Elusiveness. Increase the duration of feint by 2 seconds. This is going to be amazing for Arena. I think this is going to be a necessity almost. Like, if you're getting trained, you just throw up Recoup. Keep up Recoup the whole time, like you would do normally anyway if you had people on you. And you take 20% increased healing from other sources. That's just amazing. The Recuperate Glyph increases your recuperate by an additional 1%. I was using this, and it's really good for certain situations too, just to increase your recuperate. I think it was taken for like 28k with this. So it's all up to you, you know. There's a lot of things you can do now, like Glyph Redirect, like I was saying, reduces cooldown of redirect by 50%. Shadow Walk is crazy for finding stealthies. Sharp Knife, that's more of a PvE new glyph. Smoke Bomb, increase the duration of Smoke Bomb by 2 seconds. Stealth is a really great glyph. It pretty much, you only have like a 1 second CD on Stealth. There's a lot of cool stuff since the patch, and I'm really happy about it. I want to get this glyph. I haven't seen it for sale yet, but I think that'll be really cool to have. Just throw down a distraction, and you know, you get like a little mirror and kind of freaks people out. Like I wouldn't mind getting that. But yeah, I think that's it for this. I'll go over my gems and stuff real quick. So I don't have the PvP meta. I do have one. I bought one for when I get my Grievous Helm. But so far, like right now, how I'm sitting, I'm stacking agility and crit in red and orange slots, except for 2 red slots, and I've got my jewel crafting gems in there. In blue slots, I'm stacking agility and PvP power. Reforging for crit. I put crit on my cloak. So right now I'm sitting at 30.47% crit. That's pretty good. and I've still got 51.93% mastery. You might be able to reforge a little bit different than me and get better stats. If you do, let me know. My hit is 3.12 and expertise is 3.42. So I think I'm sitting really good right now. So yeah, I'm ready for the arena season to start and get things rolling. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out for new content, and I'll see you all next time. Alright.